Hey guys, happy Monday. I am super excited. Today, Arise to the Top officially turns 6 years old. In celebration all week long, we are going to have live classes for anyone who is currently an IBO or those who are thinking about becoming IBOs. We will be going live most days live. There'll be a couple days that I'll have an uploaded video for training, but giving you training on different topics to help you build a successful IBO. So thank you for a wonderful 6 years for making us the largest IBO support network over the last 6 years. I truly thank you, and we are going to jump in and rock and roll. All right, so tonight's class is dedicated to our beginner IBOs. We're going to have different levels of classes throughout this week, but tonight is specifically for beginners. We've had a ton of influx of a lot of new IBOs that have a lot of questions that can be easily answered tonight. So if you have any questions, let me open the chat. Thank you, Melissa. And you can put whatever questions you do have in the chat. Tomorrow, we will be going at 5 p.m. instead of 7. And Wednesday is our annual Arise IBO Training 2024. So that is that hour and a half training that you see on YouTube every year that goes in depth for each category of training from beginning to the end with your IBO. So that's Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. But again, tonight we're going to hop in with starting your virtual call center. All right. So, for those that are very new, sorry about that. So, those of you that are very new to becoming an IBO or you're looking at becoming an IBO, the first thing that you'll need to do is make sure your legal game is on point. You guys know I stress legality in everything. And as you see the increase of lawsuits happening, the increase of, I mean, lawsuits from people, from business to business, from person to business, but also from the state to businesses now. You see a lot of political things happening. So you want to make sure you're good. What you'll need to have your Arise IBO is your LLC or an incorporation. The Arise website, I did check, does still state that they want you to be an S or a C Corp with your LLC, which that is, depending on whether you select S or C, that's just you filing an extra form. Now, a lot of people do ask, can you go ahead and start your IBO while you're waiting for that paperwork to come through for your S or C Corp? And to that, I'll say Arise's website does say they want you to be one, but the system does not stop you from starting your IBO, even if you're not an S or C and you're just an LLC. It does not stop you. So that's what I'll say on that. You'll need your EIN business number, which you can get for free on the irs.gov website. You just go in, literally, it takes you 10 minutes to fill out the information, and then bam, they'll email you an EIN number. So when you go to the arise.com website to sign your IBO up, sometimes if you do it within 5 to 10 days of that EIN being created, you may get an error telling you that that number is not registered. It's just because Arise on the back end, they have a system where they check with the IRS for the EIN numbers, and it's not registered yet. So there's not necessarily anything wrong. It's just that it hasn't registered yet fully in the system. So just try again every 24 hours or so. Next, you'll need to check your local area to see if you need a business license. So I have not talked too much about this in the previous trainings in the previous years, but a lot of cities, especially with the work from home world vastly growing and businesses vastly growing, remote businesses are starting to require, or I won't say starting to require, but are starting to enforce the business license requirement with remote businesses. So check with your local area to see if one is required, and if it is, then go ahead and get your business license as well. After you have all that legal stuff, you'll want to make sure that you get your business bank account. And you do want a business bank account, not a personal bank account, because sometimes those deposits get funny. Arise will tell you they're not going to deposit your money into a personal account if you're an IBO. So business accounts, Wednesday, you guys will get the list in our Arise IBO Training 2024. I'll have the list like I usually do of like the recommended accounts and stuff like that. But off the top of my head, business accounts, Novo is decent. They're online. They're really quick. If you use Zelle a lot, though, they don't have Zelle. Um, you can go to one of your traditional banks, Wells Fargo. I know that a lot of people talk about Wells Fargo. I've not had any problems with Wells Fargo, and I have business accounts, personal accounts, mortgages with them. I like Wells Fargo. So you have them. Like I said, Novo's a good one. You have Chase. There's a ton of them, but just make sure you do have that business account before you start recruiting and trying to make money as an IBO. After you get that done, you'll go to arise.com and you will register as an IBO. Now, make sure as you're doing your registration process, you are reading. There are sometimes some mix ups happening with the way it looks similar to sign up as a sole proprietor as it does as an agent or an IBO. So if you're not paying attention, you may sign up for the wrong one, and sometimes it is difficult to go backwards with that. So get your account registered on Rise after receiving your legalities. And the next thing, while you're waiting for your stuff to go through, I want you to start learning and getting a clear understanding of regulations surrounding 1099 contractors versus W 2 employees. Now, a few months ago, we had a live where I was talking to you guys about the new laws and things that are being voted on. There, it is expected that the 1099 contractor world gets shaken up within this next, I guess, political era that's coming up. You know, we have election time and there's a lot of stuff happening. So, you know, keep an eye on that. But for now, learn the laws that are currently happening so that if you're operating as a 1099, you're making sure you're staying within those boundaries. Now, as an IBO, I always get asked, do you have to have 1099 contractors or can you do W 2 employees? There are IBOs that are doing W 2 employees. There's actually several IBOs within the network that hire in a W 2 format. What you guys are learning this week is the 1099 contractor format. That's the most common one. And for new business owners, it may make more sense for you, especially if you don't have a lot of capital to put out first. All right. And then lastly, on the legal side, you'll want legal documents to protect your company, which we'll go over more in the next slide. But you do need to have those legal documents. So if you haven't done these things, I do not want you trying to recruit people. I know it's a lot of, we have people interested. What do I do next? You don't need to worry about any interest until you get your stuff set up correctly. So that's your first step. Let's go to the next steps. All right. All right. Signing up as an IBO. So after you create your account, the next thing you'll do when you get into the Arise portal is take the Harvard assessment. Now, some of you may come in and say, hey, I'm not servicing. Why do I need to take the assessment? You will not see any of the clients available, even as an IBO, if you don't take that assessment. If you take the assessment and fail it somehow, you can go under the reference tab to see the opportunity announcements for the available clients, but you won't be able to see the clients. So go ahead and take that Harvard assessment, and then you'll also be able to have that experience to let your agents know how it is. It's not necessarily a hard assessment. There are some parts where you will have to record yourself speaking, reading sentences, reading words, and those sorts of things. And if you have noise in your background, or if you're not enunciating while you're reading, those type of things will get you failed quickly. So just make sure you remember that when you're taking that assessment. So go ahead and take that assessment. As you see on my PowerPoint, it says do not recruit yet. We're not there. Okay. We're not there yet. You're still not recruiting at this point. Once you've taken that assessment, the next thing you need to do is get in there and learn your portal. You cannot break the portal. Um, Click on stuff, play around. Go to Ava and just type in random questions. Go down the rabbit hole with Ava. Ava has a ton of information. So a lot of your basic questions can be found in Ava. And Ava also has like documents for some questions that you ask, like the equipment. What type of equipment do you need? There's a download for that. There's a download for some of the client information. A lot of people don't know that Ava does have documents in there depending on what you ask. So go in there and play and ask Ava questions, just random questions, and go down the rabbit hole with her so that you can learn. The other good spot to get a lot of answers outside of the Facebook group is the arise.com FAQ. That's on the regular website. You don't have to be logged in for that. Their FAQ section, though, is pretty thorough and answers a ton of questions that you may have regarding fees, equipment, states that are not accepted, all types of stuff. So look at that FAQ. If you are able to sign up and take a certification course, even if it's just temporarily, that is the number one recommendation, right? I used to come and say, hey, you don't necessarily have to service to be an IBO. You just really need to learn the business aspect. I stand on that. You don't have to, but you don't have to do a lot of things, but it will make it easier, way easier if you do it. There's a lot of things that agents encounter, from tech issues to the way certification is, logins. You can't really learn that through anyone's class per se. You really need to feel it and go through it so that you can help your agents adequately. Now, if you can't do it, it's not to say that you can't be a successful IBO. I did not service when I first started. So I did eventually get in there and service. And when I did, it opened up a whole new world of understanding. And I was experienced by then. So that's why I'm telling you, hop in and service if you can, or at least go through certification. All right. So that's the next thing. And lastly, after you take your Harvard assessment, click on that client opportunity section. And any client you see, go to view detail. The opportunity announcement is what it's called. It will pop open for you. In that opportunity announcement is gold. That's the document that tells you everything you need to know about the clients, including what Arise will be paying you for your agent to service, the earn while you learn period when they start making money, any required equipment policies, the most available hours for that specific client. You'll find out client requirements. What does that client really want from that agent, and what type of things they'll have to be doing. Sometimes some positions may say customer service and it's really a sales position. The opportunity announcement will say sales in it if it's sales. The little part on the portal may say customer service sometimes and not include that sales component. So reading that opportunity announcement before you recruit for the client is extremely important. That's the only way you'll know to answer the questions that your agents have for the clients that you're recruiting for. Even if you have agents that are in a client, so say, which we know this client is gone now, but the domain client, say I had agents that came in this summer on it and another class was about to start next month, you still want to read the opportunity announcement because sometimes they change the pay on clients different times of the year. Sometimes the requirements change. So read the opportunity announcements every time you see opportunities popping up. And that would be before you start recruiting for that opportunity. It will also let you know if a drug test is required. Some agents don't want to service clients that require drug tests, understandably. That'll let you know if a drug test is required. Any questions so far? All right, we're going to keep going. All right, you're still not ready to recruit. Even after you've done those first couple slides, you are still not there yet. So you should not be trying to recruit yet. The next thing you need to set up is your payroll dates, pay method, and pay scale. You need to figure that out before you even try to bring people in and not rush to figure it out after they're in. All right, payroll dates. You'll see in Ava, if you go in there and type pay calendar, they will give you the calendar, which tells you what day Arise will deposit the money into your account and what day invoices are ready to be viewed on the portal. So generally, you'll get those deposits around the 8th, 9th ish, and then like the 21st, 22nd ish, maybe 23rd is when you'll see the deposits. And the day before the deposit, the invoices are put into the portal under the document section. That's how you'll determine your agent's pay. Arise will give you an invoice letting you know what agents worked, how many intervals they serviced or minutes, depending on how they're paying you, and how much they paid you for each client, for each agent. Arise's invoice will tell you that. They'll give you one invoice. Your whole list of agents are going to be on there. You will then take that invoice and what they call reconcile it. Depending on how you're monetizing it, you'll take the invoice, take the totals that are there, and then if you're doing a flat fee, subtract your flat fee out. If you're doing the dollar per hour or $2 per hour, however you're set up, then do the math to get that. So that's how you'll know how much to pay your agent, is because you'll get an invoice from Arise, and then you will do the invoice to do your agent's pay, and then you will put your agent's pay into whatever pay method you're using. Now you can do ACH transfers through your bank. They're probably the least expensive method. If you choose that method, you need to make sure you do your own invoices, and you'll also be generating your 1099s. You can also use something like Square, Gusto, Gig Wage, those type of softwares that have contractor payment methods. Um, I would shy away from like the ADPs and ACOMs and stuff like that unless you are doing more than a rise. Like if you have other clients in your call center, but if you're a new IBO with no other clients and you're just doing a rise, they really, the cost does not, the benefit and cost does not weigh what it needs to weigh for you to pay that money. When you can use, Square or whoever for $6 a month, or ACH transfer through your bank. Some banks, Novo, will let you ACH transfer for free. So there's not even a cost there. Chase is $25 for that ACH, and I think Wells Fargo is $10. Theirs is called Direct Pay. But those are some of the options and payment ways that you can get the money to your agents. The pay scale, you'll need to decide, again, that's a part of your monetization method. If you're going to charge a flat fee, if you're going to charge a percent model, if you're going to take money per hour, you need to decide how you're doing that. Rules and requirements for your company and your service partner ID. So remember, I told you to go in there and play in your portal. There's at the top of your portal, it's called My Profile, and I can't show you guys because we are on YouTube and I can't show the portal on a live platform. But our Wednesday class will be a closed Zoom room session where I'm going through the portal with y'all. So today you just have to follow through, like by hearing me talk, and click through it on your portal. But log in at the top right hand corner, you'll see My Profile. Click it, go to My Information, click it. You'll see your service partner ID. That is your IBID number. You need to memorize it, write it down so you don't have to go in there and find it each time. Your service partner ID number is the number that you will use to recruit your agents if you're not using your referral link. So go ahead and grab that number while you're in Ava. You need to be thinking about the rules and requirements for your company. That's company policies. If you have ChatGPT, you can easily create some company policy documents there. I think tomorrow is our AI for IBO resources class. And so I'll be showing y'all ChatGPT and the stuff that you can do for free to help your IBO. But you can get that stuff there. Make sure you have, these are the documents that you need to have as an IBO. Everything else is like a cool, that'd be great, but you need to have these. You need an independent agent agreement. You need an SOW agreement. You need a W-9 form. That W-9 form you will need to keep on file. And I saw, Melissa, I think you said for the 2 years, you do need to keep it on file for 2 years after your agent is no longer with you per the IRS, and you'll use the information from that W-9 form when you're filing the 1099s. So that W-9 form is going to ask them for like their name, social, address, all of that stuff. You'll take that information along with the total amount of money they've made and create their 1099s. Tax1099.com is great for doing 1099s, by the way, if you're like ACH transferring your pay each pay period. Anyhow, so W-9 form, direct deposit form. If you don't have a service that's collecting that for you, like I think Square, send them a link and have them do that, you need to get a direct deposit form. On your direct deposit form, let them have their banking information. Also make a little section where they can give you a second form of payment. Just in case something goes wrong with the banking aspect, you can still get them their money in a timely manner. The next form you need is an authorization to deliver the 1099 electronically form. That gives you permission to send them their 1099s via a secure electronic method. If they don't sign that form, you will have to mail them these 1099s. So have them sign that form if you want to electronically send it to them. And then having a pay calendar is great for them. It's not required, it's optional, but a lot of my agents enjoy having the pay calendar so they know exactly what day pay is going in. So for pay dates, the most common and probably best ones are the 1st and the 15th, or the 15th and the last day of the month. And then you'll also need to decide if your payday falls on a weekend, are you going to pay them the Friday before that pay date or the Monday following the pay date? How are you paying them so that they know and they can plan their finances around that? And you can put those dates in the pay calendar. Now, these documents, we do have a document bundle pack if you don't already have your documents that have all of that in there. And the Facebook post and on YouTube and Instagram, where everything this week is 30% off. So if you don't have your documents, you can get them already made for you, or you can hop in Canva and Chat GPT and make them for yourself if you are balling on that tight budget. Either way is fine. Just make sure you have those. The next thing you need to do is your lines of communication and hours of availability. That needs to be clear. Some IBOs are available 24 hours. Kudos to you guys. I used to do that. It will get very old fast when you start getting to be a large IBO. So make sure your hours of availability are set and clear. How they can reach you: phone, email, chat, social media, contact us form, fireworks, however you're doing it, they need to know how and where to reach you. We get a lot of agents, and I know other IBOs do too, that come to us because they can't reach their IBO. So now they want to switch over because they can never reach their IBO. It's a crazy reason to lose agents. So make sure those lines of communication are open and clear. I would have at least 2 of these methods: phone, email, chat, social media, or contact us form type of deal, that they can reach out to you. And again, a general knowledge of having of what the 1099 contractors are and how they're different from W-2, so that you're not crossing those lines. Having a knowledge of the clients offered and what your agents can expect when getting enrolled. All right, get acquainted with Ava as an IBO. Ava answers a ton of questions, and your onboarding process. Get a clear vision of how your onboarding process will be. So it can be something like this: your agent applies to your job post, your website, however you're doing it, and they're coming into, if you have a portal, a funnel, whatever you have, you can do individual interviews with them at that point, which I tell the IBOs that I work one-on-one with to do at least 10 individual interviews, just so you can get an idea of the questions and things that agents want to ask you, as well as getting an idea of the roadblocks that you come along during those interviews. And then you can go and work on your presentation. Once you get that out the way, you can start doing group sessions. So they'll apply to your website, your job post, come in, schedule a time for your group sessions. For those of you who work and do other things, which I hope you do, especially starting out, this is not going to make you a lot of money. Just make some consistent times. Teleperformance does sessions every day. Evervise does sessions every day. A lot of companies are starting to do those open Zoom sessions. You don't have to do them every day. You can pick 1 or 2 days a week. Do your group sessions. In those sessions, you give them the information about the opportunity. You can also help them enroll into the portal right then and there, and then get them on board with you. After they're in the portal, you can then help them select a client. Now, we do all of this within a session. We have them in the portal. We have them select clients from clients that are there. But we do a lot of pre-work before getting to that point. Anyhow, you have them select their clients. You're sending them their documents. That's those documents I just told you a few minutes ago that you need to send them. Everything except the SOW agreement. The SOW agreement does not need to be sent until they're in certification or until they're actively servicing. So my general rule on that SOW agreement is we send them an SOW agreement when Arise sends one to us. So you'll sign the SOW agreement between your company and Arise, and then they'll sign your SOW agreement between you and them. And at that point, you've done everything I said tonight. So you already have your payroll, pay dates, and pay methods. You've already gotten the documents from them. You have everything set up the way it needs to be set up. Now you're just A/B testing your onboarding process. And there's no one size fits all. There's no rule. And I don't care whose training you go to, be it mine or anyone else that is out here doing trainings now. There's no one size fits all for an IBO. I A/B test all the time. I A/B test my job post, the verbiage on it. I A/B test the presentations that I give in our group sessions. The way I say things, I'll say things one way to one set, another way to another set, see which way I get a better response. So this is your business. Businesses are never not A/B testing. The oldest businesses are still A/B testing because the environment is forever changing. And we know that the job environment at this point, it's definitely changing. So have fun with it. Play around, have fun, but stay legal. That's the big thing, is having your legal stuff set up. And after that, play around. Don't use words like benefits. Use words like incentives and perks. Don't use words like full-time, part-time. Those are W-2 words, right? You can't offer full-time to anyone that you're contracting because you cannot guarantee them hours. And being, I've said this before, we're the middleman of the middleman. So we don't really control anything outside of onboarding our agents, helping them get through certification, but we don't control client decisions. We don't control, for the most part, who's terminated from a client or when they're terminated. We don't have any say over any of that, over how certification goes. We just don't. So you don't want to sit here and guarantee anything because you don't control that. Any questions? Thank you for the happy birthday. All right. So just for starters, for checklists, like I said, our long session will be Wednesday. I'm chopping these other days down into kind of shorter sessions. This one was for beginners. Make sure you have your LLC or incorporation, your EIN and business bank account. Make sure you are getting acquainted with Ava, and you go in and you can use ChatGPT or you can use Bing Chat. And honestly, Bing Chat, if you don't pay for ChatGPT, Bing, and that's Bing, Bing, their chat is actually using the ChatGPT 4, which is the one that everybody's paying $20 for. And it's free for you to use. So if you use Bing Chat, you're getting the benefit of ChatGPT 4. And you can go in and ask questions. Go in and ask about 1099. Google it. Learn about. Go on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about it. So after you get that legal stuff going, Go ahead and learn 1099 versus W-2. And then you're going to get your documents together. While you're doing all that, you're setting up your documents. These documents that I just told you about. You're also setting up your payroll dates, your pay method, and pay scale. Your onboarding process. Do you want it to be fully automated? Are you going to do individual sessions? Are you going to do group sessions? How are you going to recruit agents into your company? I'll tell you guys, with that new diamond plan, with the new diamond IBO premier plan that's coming, or that's already here, they are really wanting us to be a lot more hands-on than we were. And so you're going to see that people who are fully automating are not getting the same results as those are who are hands-on. It's really designed to reward those who are getting their agents through certification, those who are vetting the agents before they're coming on the portal. So if you're not hands-on and you're looking at 100% automating your call center, you can. I mean, I could tell you how to do it. You definitely can, but you want to double think about that, because they're really starting to create things to where we're going to have to be more hands-on. But get that onboarding process going, and then any perks you want to offer, right? There's thousands of IBOs out here. Why should they choose you? Why would they say, hey, I want to go to her IBO instead of his IBO? What are you offering them? And it doesn't have to be your kidney. Being a hands-on IBO, getting them through the process, is something that probably 70% of IBOs don't really do. So right there, you have a leg up. But just offering them simple perks, referral incentives. You can offer them the background check fee to be given back to them after a certain period of time. You can offer them, if you have another business, like maybe you sell Avon or sell something, you can offer them discounts on that. If you have a skill set or knowledge that can help, finance or anything that can help someone else further their life, you can offer free classes on that to them. There's a ton of things that you can offer them. Car rental discounts, gym discounts. You just talk to different gym memberships and stuff like that. If you're local, you can go to local businesses and work out local discounts for your more localized agents. So I really want you to get in before you start recruiting and think outside the box of building your call center first, right? So we're building this for Arise right now, but ultimately your goal is to be a business that is partnered with Arise and not your business be Arise. So start thinking about that as you're building your company, when you're building your policies, when you're building your processes. Start thinking about the future as well. Any questions? I'm gonna kept y'all 3 minutes over. For the new IBOs, any questions? What are you giving them to put them in your IBO? Okay, so to get the agents into your IBO, there's one of two ways. Either A, you can use the referral link, and it's under the referrals tab on the left-hand side of your portal. It says referrals. Right now, that link is not working, but when it does work, you can use that link, send it to them, and it will put them directly into your company as they go through the process. If you don't have that link, then you're going to send them to arise.com. They will need to go through the process you went through pretty much to become an IBO, except they're going to select to be an agent. They'll need your service partner ID number. You can give them your EIN number too. That number is longer, which means more room for error. I give them that service partner ID number that I told you guys to grab out of my information, my profile section. Once you give them your IBID number and they go through the process of signing up from arise.com, it will put them into your company. You will log into your portal as an IBO. On the right-hand side, you'll see a tab that says task. You'll go in and approve their documents that they sign. Once they sign the documents and you hit approve, they'll refresh and then sign the other ones, and then You'll approve their finalize them, shall I say, and then they'll be in the portal. So either the referral link will put them in there or your IB ID and arise.com. I would not leave them to go through the arise.com process by themselves. Most agents don't make it into your IBO. So either give them the referral link or walk them through the process in like a group session, a video, something, because most of them will not make it to you. If you, they always get tricked up and become sole proprietors. And some of it is them not reading, but some of it is also because it can be a little bit confusing for them, the way that Arise has the website and it worded. So that's how they get into your portal. Any more questions? How do they sign up for certification? The same way you did. That's why I'm having you guys take the steps that I told you to take. They're going to get in the portal. Once they're in your portal, they're going to take that Harvard assessment the same way you did. Once they do that, the client opportunities will show up that are available to them. And then they can enroll in a certification course from there. They do have a $30 background check fee that they will have to pay once every 3 years. And then they have a $20 no-show fee that they get refunded back after they've shown up to the first day of class. Once they're enrolled in certification, at that point, your communication needs to continue. You need to be checking up on them to make sure they're ready to start certification. The night before, check on them. The day after, when they start, check on them, see how their first day went, see how their first week went. Midweek check-in. Do you have any questions? How do you like your instructor? Do you understand everything that's happening? These are the type of things you need to be asking them throughout their certification time, because most agents will not come to you when they have a problem. They'll just quit. They just stop showing up and you won't even know why. So keep the communication open and frequent. Thank you for the happy birthday. Any more questions? I hope that was thorough. All right, y'all. Well, if you want to rewatch this, it's on YouTube. So you can always go back and refer to this video for those of you that are just starting out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. We will be putting, I didn't do it this morning, y'all. It's been hectic today, but tomorrow morning I have contests that we're starting with in the group, in the Facebook group, Arise IBO Support Network. So hop in there and then you guys can win document bundles and all kind of stuff we're giving away this week. So I'll see y'all tomorrow at 5 for our class 2. And that will be IBO tools and resources. So that's for beginner IBOs. If you've been an IBO, that's really, really for all IBOs. You'll get to see different tools and stuff that you can use for your IBO. Thank you. Have a great night. And thank you for all the happy birthdays. We're definitely excited to make it to year 6. Thank you. Hey, boys.